Communicate truth. The ninth commandment of the 10, referenced in the Bible, says, "Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor." This was always one of the hardest to make children learn, if parents were to try to raise offspring to be good adults down the road. It really means don't lie. There are two reasons why this commandment is arguably the least well followed. The first is that the simple human mind often has a tough time dealing in the negative. Tell the truth is what the commandment really means. A child might question, why doesn't it just say that? The child would have a good point. The second reason why this commandment is not well followed is that the simple human mind looks at the other 9 commandments and recognizes that they are far easier to understand, such as number 6, "Thou shalt not murder." The simple mind says, well, number 6 I can live with. I don't plan on ever killing anybody. But that number 9, because it is harder to understand, I might just have to unintentionally break that from time to time. The base 10 system of measurement, which is all about the money, encourages not telling the truth. As often, lying helps one attain more money and therefore more power. In fact, telling the truth could inhibit one's earning power. Lying about one's true intentions or lying about one's total abilities or lack thereof can also be construed as bearing false witness to a neighbor. The base 12 system of measurement, which is the natural order of things, does not promote lying or purposely concealing the truth. Even though the base 12 reality cannot easily be altered, there are some who attempt to control the weather, which violates the truth of nature. In July 1996, a 747 jet airplane exploded in the Atlantic Ocean, just east of New York City. The detectives from the United States National Safety Board determined that the plane exploded due to manufacturing defect and that the supplier should bear full responsibility. This, although hundreds of eyewitnesses saw a burning object thrust upward to hit the aircraft. Those involved from both the manufacturer and the federal government had to sign non-disclosure agreements, or they possessed the appropriate clearances. The investigative team signed off that it was strictly an explosion from inside the fuel tank. The investigative team lied, for if they had told the truth, they would have been seriously penalized. This was part of the non-disclosure agreement. What is the point to all of this? The United States was led to believe for a time that flying on airplanes was unsafe. A major aerospace company's reputation for quality and safety dropped like a rock, making it much harder to sell the aircraft which had experienced the explosion. People's jobs were at risk, and those who remained employed incorporated design changes and retrofitted all of the aircraft still flying. A cost was created out of thin air to perpetuate a lie. It was an election year. People's sacred positions of power could be in jeopardy. Most of the time, when people are lied to, they tend to believe the prevarications, especially if the liar is crafty enough to show shiny, truth-telling behaviors. The liar, thus, usually gets away with the fabrication without being caught, and believing that the next lie could even be easier to pull off based on data gathered from the last. Lying is probably the most basic form of corruption, and that is why we have so much discord in the world, with the planet's constant wars and the strong often taking advantage of those less able to exist without assistance. In the base 10 world, we are told, do not bear false witness. In the base 12 world, we need to understand that we must communicate truth. They mean the same thing, but isn't it always best to be positive?